Death, it's the ultimate frontier, the one certainty in the vast cosmic arena of existence. And just as the stars have captivated humanity for millennia, so too has the mystery of what lies beyond this mortal coil. Across time and civilizations, we humans have grappled with the profound questions of mortality, developing a breathtaking array of rituals and practices to honor the dead and prepare them for their journey into the great unknown. This isn't just about dusty tombs and forgotten rituals, friends. It's about exploring the very essence of what it means to be human. Because in these ancient practices, we catch a glimpse of the hopes, the fears, the very soul of our ancestors. So buckle up as we embark on a cosmic voyage through time, exploring the fascinating and often surprising ways in which ancient cultures bid farewell to their loved ones. From the fertile Nile River Valley to the windswept shores of Scandinavia, burial, the act of laying our loved ones to rest in the earth, has served as a cornerstone of funerary practices for millennia. It's a practice as ancient as time itself, echoing our deep connection to the earth, the mother from whom all life springs and to whom it ultimately returns. Now, picture yourself in ancient Egypt, a civilization obsessed with the afterlife. They believed that preserving the physical body was essential for the soul's journey. Theirs wasn't a simple burial, my friends. It was an elaborate process of mummification, designed to cheat decomposition and ensure the spirit's safe passage to the underworld. But across the world, the Vikings, those intrepid seafarers, held a different perspective. They envisioned a grand afterlife in Valhalla, a hall of heroes where warriors feasted for eternity. Their burials, often involving ships set ablaze and sent adrift, or interments in elaborate burial mounds, spoke of a people who embraced the transition to the afterlife with a sense of adventure and valor. Now, not all burials were as elaborate. In some cultures, simple, shallow pits served as the final resting place, while others marked graves with towering stone cairns or mounds of earth, silent sentinels standing guard over the slumbering dead. Whether simple or elaborate, burial speaks to a universal human desire to honor the departed, to provide a final resting place where their memory could be cherished and their spirits could find peace. Now, let's shift our focus to a practice that's seen a resurgence in recent times: cremation. Imagine the flames, a symbol of purification and transformation, consuming the physical body, releasing the spirit to ascend to the heavens. In ancient India, cremation was deeply intertwined with the belief in reincarnation. The flames were seen as a vehicle for liberating the soul from the confines of the physical body, allowing it to begin its journey anew. The act of cremation was a sacred ritual, accompanied by chanting, prayers, and offerings to the gods. Across the Aegean Sea, the ancient Greeks, renowned for their philosophical minds, also embraced cremation. For them, it was a way of honoring the deceased's spirit, releasing it from its earthly bonds. The ashes were then carefully collected and placed in urns, often adorned with intricate designs depicting scenes from mythology or the life of the departed. And let's not forget the Romans, those masters of empire building. They too practiced cremation, believing that a quick and clean dispatch through fire was a mark of respect for the dead. Roman cremation ceremonies were often grand affairs, attended by mourners dressed in white, the color of mourning in their culture. Over time, cremation rituals evolved, influenced by religious beliefs and cultural practices. But whether performed on a simple pyre or within elaborate crematoriums, the symbolism remained: a transformation, a release, a return to the elements. Fasten your seatbelts, folks, because we're diving deep into the fascinating, some might even say macabre, world of mummification. This wasn't just about preserving the body, no sir, it was about conquering death itself, or at least postponing the inevitable. The Egyptians, those masters of the afterlife, perfected the art of mummification. They believed that by preserving the physical body, they were ensuring the soul's continued existence in the hereafter. Picture this: skilled embalmers meticulously removing organs, drying the body with salts and wrapping it in layers upon layers of linen bandages, all while reciting spells and prayers. But the Egyptians weren't alone in their quest to cheat decay. Journey with me to the Andes Mountains of South America, where the Inca, a civilization that rivaled the Egyptians in their ingenuity, developed their own unique mummification practices. They too believed in an afterlife where the physical body played a crucial role. The Inca mummies, often found in a seated position, bundled in textiles and adorned with jewelry, offer a glimpse into a culture that revered its ancestors and sought to keep their memory alive. And let's not forget the ancient civilizations of Asia, where mummification took on various forms. From the Buddhist monks who practiced self-mummification in a meditative state, to the ancient Chinese who sought to preserve their rulers for eternity, the pursuit of immortality through bodily preservation knew no bounds. Mummification, in its various forms, stands as a testament to human ingenuity and our relentless pursuit of defying the ultimate fate that awaits us all. Chapter 4. To Heaven's Embrace, the celestial journey of sky burials. Prepare to have your perceptions challenged as we ascend to the breathtaking heights of the Himalayas, to the land of snow-capped peaks and ancient wisdom, Tibet. Here, death is not an end, but a transformation, a release into the infinite expanse of the sky. Sky burials, also known as celestial burials, are a practice deeply rooted in Tibetan Buddhist beliefs. Imagine this: the body of the deceased is taken to a designated high ground, a place exposed to the elements, where it's ritualistically dismembered and left as an offering to nature's scavengers, the majestic vultures. This act, far from being seen as disrespectful, is seen as the ultimate act of generosity, a final gift of the physical body to sustain other life forms. It's a powerful symbol of the impermanence of the physical form and the soul's liberation from the cycle of birth and death. And it's not just Tibet. Across the globe, various indigenous cultures have practiced forms of sky burial, each with its own unique rituals and beliefs. From the Native American tribes of the Great Plains who placed their dead on elevated platforms, to the Aboriginal Australians who left bodies in trees to decompose naturally, the common thread is a profound connection to nature and the belief that death is not an end, but a transition. So as we contemplate the vastness of the sky, let us remember those cultures that chose to return their loved ones to the heavens, a poignant reminder of our place within the grand tapestry of life and death. Chapter 5. Into the deep water burials and the embrace of the sea. Prepare to be swept away on a watery journey as we explore the fascinating world of water burials, a practice as diverse as the oceans themselves. For centuries, cultures around the globe have turned to the sea, a symbol of both life and the afterlife, to bid farewell to their loved ones. Picture yourself among the Vikings, those bold explorers who traversed the icy waters of the North Atlantic. For them, the sea was not just a path to new lands, but a pathway to the afterlife. Viking sea burials, sometimes involving flaming ships set adrift, symbolized a final voyage, a return to the watery abyss from which all life emerged. Now let's chart a course to the Pacific Islands, where the ocean holds a central place in the lives and beliefs of its people. For many island cultures, water burials represent a return to the womb of Mother Ocean, a source of life and sustenance. The deceased are often wrapped in mats or placed in canoes and set adrift, their spirits carried away by the currents to the ancestral homeland. Water burials weren't limited to seafaring cultures. Indigenous tribes living along rivers and lakes also practiced forms of water burial, consigning their dead to the watery depths with rituals and offerings. The belief that water could purify the soul and carry it to the afterlife was a common thread across these diverse cultures. Chapter 6. Returning to the elements, exposure, excarnation, and the cycle of life. Prepare to delve into practices that might seem unusual, even unsettling to the modern mind. But remember, my friends, death is viewed through many lenses. In this chapter, we explore cultures that embraced exposure and excarnation, practices that highlight the cyclical nature of life and death. Imagine the arid plains of ancient Persia, home to the Zoroastrians, followers of a religion that predates Christianity. They believed that the elements, including fire, earth, and water, were sacred and should not be defiled by the dead. Their solution? Excarnation, a practice where bodies were exposed to the elements, often on elevated platforms known as towers of science. This wasn't about disrespect, it was about allowing nature's scavengers, particularly vultures, to cleanse the body, returning its essence to the earth. The bones were then collected and placed in ossuaries, a testament to a belief system that emphasized the separation of the physical and spiritual realms. And it wasn't just the Zoroastrians. Various Native American tribes, particularly in the American Southwest, practiced forms of exposure or excarnation. Bodies were often placed on elevated platforms or in trees, exposed to the elements and scavengers. This practice, deeply connected to their spiritual beliefs and the environments they inhabited, reflected a harmonious relationship with the natural world. Exposure and excarnation, while seemingly stark practices, remind us of the cyclical nature of life, the constant interplay between death and renewal. Chapter 7, a feast for the living, cannibalistic rites and the transference of essence. Now brace yourselves, folks, because we're venturing into territory that might send shivers down your spine. Cannibalism, the consumption of human flesh, is a practice shrouded in taboo, often associated with savagery and depravity. But in some ancient cultures, it was not an act of barbarity, but a complex ritual imbued with spiritual significance. Journey with me to the remote highlands of Papua New Guinea, home to the Fore people. They practiced a form of ritualistic cannibalism known as endo-cannibalism, where they consume the remains, particularly the brains, of their own kin. This act, as unsettling as it might seem to us, was not driven by hunger or malice, but by a profound belief in absorbing the deceased's strength and vitality. And let's not forget the Yanomami, an indigenous tribe living in the Amazon rainforest. They practiced a form of mortuary cannibalism where they consumed the ashes of their deceased, mixed with plantains, believing that this act helped to keep the spirit of their loved ones alive within them. These practices, while abhorrent to many, underscore the diverse ways in which ancient cultures grappled with death and the afterlife. They remind us that what might seem shocking or taboo to one culture can be a deeply meaningful ritual to another. Chapter 8, a rich afterlife, burial with sacrifice and grave goods. Death, it seems, has always been a bit of a status symbol, hasn't it? In this chapter, we're exploring the practice of sending the departed off in style, laden with treasures and offerings for their journey to the afterlife. Think back to the grandeur of ancient Egypt, where pharaohs and nobles were buried with unimaginable wealth. Their tombs weren't just final resting places. They were opulent palaces designed to accompany them into eternity. Golden chariots, exquisite jewelry, even mummified pets. No expense was spared in ensuring a comfortable afterlife. Across the world, in ancient China, emperors and high officials were also laid to rest with lavish grave goods. Terracotta armies, jade burial suits, and mountains of treasure were all part of the package deal for a smooth transition to the afterlife. It's almost enough to make you wish you were royalty, isn't it? And let's not forget the Maya civilization of Mesoamerica, known for their elaborate tombs filled with jade masks, intricately carved sarcophagi, and even human sacrifices to accompany the deceased on their journey. Talk about a dedicated entourage. Even the Vikings, those pragmatic seafarers, couldn't resist sending their chiefs off in style. Ships laden with weapons, armor, and even sacrificed animals were all part of the Viking send-off. It was a way of ensuring that their leaders were well equipped for whatever awaited them in Valhalla. From the humblest trinkets to the most extravagant treasures, burial with sacrifice and grave goods speaks to a universal human desire to care for our loved ones, even in death. It's a poignant reminder that the bonds of love and loyalty transcend the boundaries of the physical world. Outro, honoring life and death, echoes of the past. As we conclude our journey through time, we're left with a profound appreciation for the diversity of human expression, even in the face of death. From the simplest burials to the most elaborate rituals, these ancient practices reflect our shared humanity, our need to make sense of the unknown, and our desire to honor those who have passed before us. These ancient methods of disposing of the dead reflect humanity's complex relationship with death and the afterlife. Burial customs were more than just practical. They were deeply rooted in cultural, spiritual, and environmental beliefs. Even today, echoes of these ancient practices survive in modern funerals, cremations, and memorials, reminding us of the diverse ways societies have honored life and death throughout history.